Early Sunday morning, it was a big ganja smuggling.
Alright then, yeah. We just need to really drop this down. Man's kind of tired, you know. Man's been up from morning, working and slumping and grafting from day. But anyway, listen. I've got to talk a little bit right now about ganja. You know, the good green, the good something. That's all. Past the sensimilia, past the cushion peng, past the weed. Ganja, healing of the nation. Ganja, good for every situation. You know, just the weed, the cannabis, the hemp, the marijuana, the Mary Jane, the whatever you want to call it. All right. Need to talk about it because when mans was a youth, mans used to burn out like mans was glad, but now a big man is a big man still. But the thing that I like to mention is that I remember when I gave it up, it was a nightmare. It was terrible. It was a terrific ordeal. It's something that I would not wish upon anybody else. So either you burn weed till you're dead, or you need to stop and just stop. I don't smoke weed. I might drink the occasional piece of ganja tea. That's my little cat messing about over there. Hey, pussycat, move! Cat's just dread. Anyway, stop. Anyway, I'm just telling you, say I don't bun weed. I might drink the occasional ganja tea, sup a little something pon something this, but I don't bun weed again. We can't bun. Anyway, check it. Weed is good for some people, and it's not good for other people. I'm one of them people that is not good for. When I used to bun weed, I used to get proper prang. And if you bun and you don't know what I'm saying, and you don't know what I'm saying, but if you ain't from ghetto, then you might not know what I mean when I'm saying prang. Mine's just proper prang. I mean, nowadays I'm prang. And I don't even bun weed. I haven't bun weed for like 10, 15, 20 years or however long it's been. It's been a long time. I don't bun weed again. I don't smoke weed. I don't smoke marijuana. I don't smoke cannabis. I don't smoke the hemp. I don't smoke the black ash. I don't joke. I can't touch it. The reason being is that when I stopped, I just found it to be one of the most difficult things that I'd ever done. Now, I'm a man that I won the British super heavyweight freestyle kickboxing championship 3 years on a running, not once, not twice, but 3 years on a running. And I went for the world championships, and I got a medal in the world championships. Typical British medal, that's all I'm saying. And that, to me, was harder than stopping weed, stopping bunning. The stopping bunning thing, I don't know how many years it took me to stop bunning weed, but it was a real feat. It was a real endeavor. It was a real task. It was a real ordeal. It was just completely, if I could go back again and stop again, I'd stop. In fact, I wouldn't even start. If I could go back again and stop again, I wouldn't even start. But that means I couldn't stop. But you understand what I'm saying? It was so hard. It's one of those things that, I could not wish upon anybody. In fact, my worst enemy, it's a good forfeit. It's a good thing to wish on your enemy. It's something that you don't wish upon yourself, your friends, your family. It's just, it's not right. It's just not good. But saying that, there are lots of people that it seems to agree with. But I'm just one of those people that it just don't agree with. I don't agree with it. It don't agree with me. Next man praying, and I'm still praying to this day. I'm always looking over my shoulder. I'm always looking over here. I'm like, who's that? Who are you talking to? Who's that boy you talking to? I'm like one of those kind of guys. Who? See the beast there, see the beast there, see the beast there, see the police there, see the police there. Every time I see a policeman, I'm still praying. I'm like, I don't even do nothing wrong. I'm a professional. I'm a professional G nowadays. I'm a lecturer. I go to college and I teach in the College of Further Education, and I'm still praying about the police. I ain't never been in trouble with the popo like that, but I still get pranged at police, and I'm sure that's because of my environmental conditioning. I'm sure that's because of my background, and anyway, let me get down to the subject, which is stop the passing of the cushion peg. Stop burning weed. You need to stop smoking weed. That's the lesson number one for today. Just stop smoking weed. Stop smoking weed. All right, because believe me, it's not good. You might enjoy it, you might think it's good, but it's like, I don't know, Well, what is it that human beings do? What is it that we have? We have this tendency to take substances and do things which are essentially harmful and detrimental to our health, and then say that's enjoyment. I'm sure you know what I mean. Like we drink alcohol until we wrench, until we're sick, until we vomit, and then the next day or the next 3 days in my case. In fact, there's one time I got so drunk it took me a week to get over the hungover, slungover. Yeah, I got brongo. It was like, yo, I never, ever drink it again. The last time I drank a few years ago now, I said I'm not going to drink again for 3 years. I'm not touching vodka again for 3 years. And it's been 1.5, 2 years now. I'm still not going to touch it for another year. I might have a little tipple, just a little tipple in a cup of tea. I'm not touching it again. For 3 years, it was so bad, and I won't forget that. See, if I say something from, I'm saying that, I'm doing that, and that's that. I'm not joking. I'm not playing. I'm not playing with it. It's not easy. It's some heavy things. But with the ganja, the substance, it's like, yo, there's a lot of what's the word? There's a lot of mysticism. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of what's the word? There's a lot of people that say a lot of stuff about the weed that makes you feel familiar with it. You know, it makes you want to be familiar with it. It's like, for example, there are over 50,000 different uses for the ganja plant, for the weed, for the hemp, for the marijuana. There's 50,000 different uses. I mean, in fact, let's anyway. I don't want to get caught too much up in this little discussion because there's so much to talk about when it comes down to smoking and burning weed. But the first thing and the most important thing is that you stop smoking weed. That's the first thing. So if you're smoking even cigarette, if you're smoking cigarette, that's even worse. It's even worse. Stop smoking cigarette. Stop smoking, full stop. And for me, it was really difficult. And I'm sure there are people out there who are trying to quit today. On a serious note now, we're trying to quit today. This cat, she's just doing my nothing. Yo, behave yourself. A pussycat. Now she's run off again. I'm sure there are people out there today. I bet you'll think I'm joking. Yo, what are you doing with? Yo, that's the electric cable. Get 1 second, please. Come here. Hey, don't fight. Don't bite. Hey, come here. Okay. Here she is. Little crazy little pussycat. See, look. See how she's crazy? Look, that's what she wants. She's just playing with her. And now you're probably more interested in the little pussycat playing with the elastic band than anything else. She's just on one. She's just like young and she's at that age where she's toothing, or what do you call it? She's clawing. She's clothing. Anyway, like I'm saying, it's just so hard to give it up that it's just not right. Is that what I was saying? Oh no, I was saying that I don't want to talk about that because there are so many different aspects of the weed that you need to think about. We need to be aware of before we go any further. One of those is that the actual term marijuana, it's a really recent term. It's a relatively recent term. Do a Google search on the history of marijuana, and you'll find that just after the prohibition in America, where they banned alcohol and then they unbanned alcohol, just after the prohibition, that's when they basically banned cannabis. It used to be called cannabis before, and there were over 50,000 different uses for the miracle, for the herb, which is there for the healing of the nation. That's another familiar term. You know, we're talking about that familiarity, and there were over 50,000 different uses for it. Hemp, cannabis, ganja, it's been healing the world, and okay, she's off on one now. It's been doing stuff for the world for millennia, for thousands of years. They've been using it in China, in India, in Asia, in Africa, and the Americas. It's been one of those things that has been part of the culture. Use it for clothing, use it for medicine, use it for industry, use it for oil, for burning. She's biting my toes right now. Use it for this and use it for that. Use it for very many things. It's just so many uses, it beggars belief. But the thing is, I'm not sure whether we're using a sativa or, what's that other word? It's the other one. It's either sativa or sensimilia. No, sativa or indica. So we've got two different kind of strands. And one of those strands, from what I've been given to understand, if I'd have known this one as a kid, it would have been different. One of those strands, the indica, I could have got this the wrong way around, but the indica is what we basically smoke over here in the UK. And it gets us stoned. And stoned gives you that impression of, yo, stuff's really heavy, man. You know, it's like stuff's really heavy, like the police is on my jock, and yo, things ain't right. You know, that kind of vibe where things are just heavily laden on your brain. And that's from the indica. And then I think it's more in America, more North America, United States. They smoke a thing called sativa. And it's the sativa that gives you, like, you always hear the Americans about, oh, getting high, I want to be high. I remember hearing Cypress Hill talk about getting high, smoking a weed and getting high. They get really high over there. And that's a high which is a more temporal, which is a more pleasant kind of experience, I would imagine, than what we have over here. I remember when I was like 15, 16, 17, whatever, I went to Holland, to Amsterdam, to one of those, what do you call it, can't even remember. That's the thing that weed does to you. It makes you forget stuff, like, it makes me now like a fish. And I wish I could remember some of can't really remember. But anyway, in Amsterdam, one of these cafes, I think it's called a cafe bar, used to go in there, had a catalogue full of different kind of something, and we just wanted to try everything. We tried everything, and we just stoned, we were high, we were low, we were left and right and up and down, and we didn't even really know which way we were going, but it's the truth. It was just crazy, man. The weed makes you do crazy things. And if you look into the history, that's what I was saying, if you look into the history of marijuana, they basically demonized it. They made marijuana akin to being a demonic drug. And then, I think it was later on, 60s, 70s, they made marijuana the drug that was the drug of choice for the Mexicans and the blacks and the browns and the blackies and the packies stateside. So they gave it a cultural twist and a cultural bias, and they said, yeah, that's a nigger drug, basically. Not the rappers, the jazz singers and the jazz musicians used to take it and get high, and Dizzy Gillespie and Miles Davis and John Coltrane and all them mans, they were just bunning out. Even though I've been given to understand they want to heavier stuff. Come away from the pussycat. I don't tell you already. Stop. I'm going to beat you. Anyway, them ones they were kind of like hitting some other substances rather hard. So that's why and how they reach certain other heights. But then if you're a musician or you're musically inclined, you'll see that those heights that these guys went to or reached on those other drugs, they're high in terms of those musicians being high, but they're really quite low points in terms of how you might feel if you listen to it, or if I might feel if I'm listening to it. It might seem rather low and quite distorted and disjointed and not quite right. A bit like my topic. We're supposed to be talking about weed and stopping smoking. Anyway, one of the other uses for the 50,000 uses of the cannabis was basically that it was making jeans. Levi's jeans, for example, they made jeans and clothing and denim, and the cowboys used to wear hemp clothing and cannabis clothing. So it's been historically quite significant and quite important for industry, for culture, for society for years and years and years. And it wasn't until these American mad crackerjacks said, "Yo, we're gonna put a ban on this, put prohibition on the cannabis, and now call it marijuana." So look into the history of marijuana and the actual term itself, the definition of the term, and the etymology of the term, the etymological root of the term marijuana. Where did it come from? Who made it? And it was basically there to denote being a negative drug against Africans in America, against African Americans and blacks and Pakis and Mexicans and the rest of them. And them call the weed a devil's weed. The devil's weed is a phenomenon of post-abolitionist America. USA. The establishments didn't really want the sanctity of white women being ravished by the demons possessed, or the demon-possessed Negro jazz musicians. That's what it was. Or the Mexican workers who were lurking in dark places with black and brown faces ready to pounce on the white women. It was the weed that made these white women look seductively upon these black and brown enemies. It was the weed that acted. It was the weed that acted as the conduit for miscegenation and for interracial mixing. There are lots of examples of racist and blatantly out of order bigotry when you look at issues to do with the actual terminology of devil weed and marijuana and wagwan. Anyway, to me, the weed of the millennium, the weed that we used to burn way back in the day, it's a completely different weed to what the people them are burning nowadays. When I was a teenager, we used to smoke or play with the weed, and it was like a different kind of weed. It was like, what was it? It was Sensimania. It was Thai weed. It was, and if you some people that on a hash, it was like a black hash or a gold seal or a white seal or a red seal or a hash, and it had a Mujahideen stamp on the back, and we knew where it was coming from, or it was Paki Black or whatever it was way back in the day. Them kind of weed, it's like nowadays it don't really compare. It's like nowadays I believe it's like 50 times stronger. It's like even 100 times stronger. And I used to be praying way back in the day when I bun that, so I can't even imagine what some of these youth are bunning nowadays and how their minds are being twisted up by this probably is really devil's weed nowadays, because they fling in all sorts of scientific concoctions and all sorts of stuff to make you get even higher. Nowadays everybody's growing a thing. They're developing strains which go deep inside your brain. What did my friend have the other day? It was purple kush, and another boy had this thing, but them call it AK-47, and the other guy had this sticky lemon haze, and the other boy had forget me not, or just strawberry, don't remember, strawberry amnesia. You know, when I hear some of the names, of some of the weed the man I'm bunning nowadays, it just stop. That's what I'm saying. Just stop. When you hear some of the names of some of the weed that some of the people that are bunning nowadays, like strawberry amnesia, go please. You know that when you bun that, you ain't gonna remember shit. You ain't gonna remember nothing. So just don't bun it. Just stop smoking weed. And then what was the other one? Lazy lemon kush. So there's no gold stars for guessing what that makes you do. It makes you just fall asleep basically and probably wake up in a haze. What, AK-47? You know, I've just got to stop because I just even think of some of the names. I'm going to do a Google search, in fact, and probably come back and do another presentation about the weed and see some of these crazy names that these jiggers nowadays are calling the weed, because, stop. It's some crazy, crazy weed. I might be laughing and joking about it, but, it's a really serious matter. But essentially, there are two basic types of weed, and that's the indica that will help to lift you up, and the sativa, or the sentimental, that would help to make you stoned and hold you down. Or was that the other way around? It's one or the other. Alright? Just remember, sativa, indica. Alright. Smoke weed and chill. We don't do Netflix and chill. We don't smoke weed and chill. Understand what I'm saying? It's not like a Netflix and chill, but more like a smoke weed and lounge on the sofa and watch the time pass you by, or bun weed until the jigger's getting high. I remember when I used to make music back in the day with the man's them, and we used to bun a little weed and we used to feel a little flow. We used to go on with that. We used to have a little vibe and everybody was just cool, and we'd all get hungry at the same time, we'd all get lazy at the same time, we'd all get crazy at the same time, and we'd all get red-eye at the same time or thereabouts. Some man could hold the weed better than other mans. I wasn't one of those mans who could hold the weed. I'll tell you that from now. I'll be the first man to be flaked out on the sofa, bunning weed, after bunning weed. I'll be one of the first mans who conk out, who wake up and want to eat 6 Mars bars or marathons or cashew, whatever. There were just different types of weed. So you got the sativa strain, which is there to help you maintain the same and relieve pain and all of that good stuff. The sativa makes you feel high and gets rid of the pain. And then you've got the indica strain, which is there to make you feel better. I can't even remember which one is which. That's how bad it is. And it's the indica, which is a relaxant. It is more of a relaxant, and the high is a stone. Stop. The indica is more of a relaxant, and the high is a stone. You get stoned. It's a stone downer, and it's not really, the indica is not really an upper per se. You got indica like Kush, OG Kush, them kind of something. So they're more for like relaxing you and pain relief and helping you feel down and make you fall asleep and wake up feeling the munchies. For pain relief, it's an indica that helps with the relaxation. It relaxes the body, it relieves the pain, it relaxes the muscles, it makes you want to sleep, it relieves spasms, it releases and reduces seizures. So if you're one of these people that are prone to having seizures, whether they're epileptic or spasmodic or whatever kind of seizure, it's the indica is the type of strain, or many of the different variants of the indica, which is going to help you to have less pain and help to relieve the spasms and the seizures. It relieves headaches and migraines. So there are, it relieves anxiety and stress. It makes you feel, hey man, chill man, everything's just cool man, just like that. So there are some positive, beneficial aspects and attributes to the indica, and two the Kush and the OG Kush and them kind of weed, and the AK-47s and the Strawberry Busby and the rest of them something dessa. But yo, at the end of the day, don't, hey, stop. Just stop burning weed. That's what I'm saying. Then you've got the sativa. The sativa bud gets you high, and it basically makes you a bit hyper, gets you energized, gives you feelings of well-being, and everything's cool, everything's easy, everything's peace and love. That's the stuff they used to have in America in the 60s, and you know, the hippie and the stuff. Gives you uplifting and cerebral thoughts. It makes you think high-level intellectual stuff and esoterical stuff and spiritual stuff. It increases your focus and your creativity and your spontaneity, and it helps to fight off depression. You see, that's one of the things about the indica. It relieves strain and stress and anxiety, but it makes you feel a bit depressed and low and down and stoned and stuff. It's heavy. And then you've got the infinite variety of what we call hybrids. There are just like enough different too many different kind of hybrids. Sticky Icky, Strawberry Amnesia, AK-47, Purple Haze, Lemon Sticky Haze, the rest of them things. Like I said, I'm gonna do a show. I'm gonna do some Google stuff and ask a couple of my people, them that are still burning heavy, what is their favorite kind of weed. When I heard some of the names, I just got to laugh, because yo, there's some really really innovative names and really creative names, but some just twisted, sick names. So if you've got here's a quick task. If you've got any names of any bad boy weed, whatever, just inbox me, comment me, and tell me some of the names of some of the crazy weed that some of the people that I'm burning nowadays. So it's been a good 15, 20 years since I've burnt any weed, but I still feel it in my system. And when I smell it, you know, I'm one of them. I'm like, yo, that smells good, guys. I know it smells good. It does smell good, but I'm not going to touch it again. Never again. Never, 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 never again. We don't stop burning the weed. Smoking kills. Whether you're smoking cigarette, or whether you're smoking cigar weed, or whether you're burning a bong. We used to lick bong back in the day. That's just so mad. Crazy. Water bong, dry bong, coconut bong. Anyway, stop burning weed. That's what I'm saying. Smoking kills. It causes cancer. It's proven that smoking weed causes cancer too. Even though by the end of it, I used to smoke just a tiny bit to begin with, and I got high as a kite. Tiny little bit, small little amount, and then it started from a small amount. The next time, or after a couple of months, it wasn't like a £5 wrap or a £2 draw anymore. Remember the £2 wrap, the £2 strap way back in the day? That's when I started burning. Anyway, it wasn't a £2 draw anymore that could do anything. It moved into a £5 wrap. Then after a few months, few years, the £5 couldn't do nothing. There had to be a £10 something, and then I just found that we had to burn more and more and more and more. You had to smoke more and more and more to feel as good as what you thought you felt before. But you see what it is? I think some of the social aspect of the burning weed is what kicks into play. Because we used to burn together, we used to giggle together and laugh together and roll about together and all that kind of stuff, and eat together, fall asleep and get the munchies, get red eye, everything together. So it was like there was that social aspect to it. So there was a bit of peer pressure in my upbringing to make man burn weed. I'm just providing excuses now for the reason I used to burn weed. Plus it smelt nice. Well, I used to think it smelt nice. But if you stop smoking and you smell somebody that smokes, oi, it doesn't smell nice. Yo, it don't smell good. It smells proper bad. It's proper rank. It smells like, hey, I remember the first time I smoked somebody burning the bad boy, the crack, and it smelled like that nowadays. You understand? It's just out of order. So, even though many people nowadays believe that smoking weed is a great pain reliever, it's a cure for cancer, and it's got many beneficial benefits. Just for me to finish off this little presentation, I've got to say that if you want to smoke weed, then it's better to do it in the comfort and the safety of your home zone, and do it like, just to finish off this little presentation. If you want to smoke weed, I like to say that if you want to smoke it and you are going to burn it, then just do so in the comfort of your own home and in the presence of your own people, friends, family. Do it like that. Be comfortable. Try not to harbor any ill feelings. Have some food ready and available for when the munchies hit you, and just, you know, be cool. Don't have massive amounts of work to get done, and do it like sparingly. Do it like not every day, because you can't do it every day. You don't get the same satisfaction out of it. If you have to burn it because you feel that you have to burn it, discipline yourself to have it. Like, don't just smoke weed for the sake of it. Mans used to get up and burn weed in the morning. Why? I don't know. I used to go to work I used to work in a hospital, and I was doing work in a hospital kind of like a high. I used to go to work and I used to bun weed in the morning, work in the hospital all day, and then come home and bun weed. Sometimes even bun a quick weed in the dinner break. You understand? It's just wrong. Just don't bun it. But that's how I thought we were supposed to be bunning it, or that's how the weed had me up. I'm an addicted personality or whatever. I'm just always a weed addict. God! Oh, excuse me. Just bit my... What you doing? Come here. She's going crazy. Hey, excuse me. Oh, shh. No cruelty. Look at her. She's proper on one. It's like 12 o'clock at night, and she's alive, and she's just... Hey, where's your... All right. Oh, I've got your thing. Here, I've got you... Here's your thing. I've got a rubber band, see? There's your rubber band. Take that and behave yourself. So man used to go to work stoned. Man used to go to come back from work, and just the first thing I wanted to do was just bun weed. And what was I saying? Stop bunning weed. I've said that a million times. I need to say it again. Stop bunning weed. And if you are going to bun weed, do it in the safety and the comfort of your own house and your own zone. And also do it sparingly. Not every day. Not more than once a day. Bun it if you can. Ease yourself off the habit. If you're one of these habitual ritual smokers, just kind of ease it down a little bit. Instead of every day, once every couple of days. Instead of once every couple of days, once every 3-4 days. And then get into the habit of bunning once a week. And then from the habit of once a week, try and burn once every 2 weeks. And then instead of once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks. And do it to once a month. Now, if you're going to have weed once a month, who's to say that's detrimental to your health and your character? Nobody can say that, because it's a leisurely sporadic drug. It's a leisurely sporadic herbal medicinal additive. That's all it is. But if you're having it every day, then it's an addictive drug. There's two different ways to look at it. It's two different ways to look at the same substance. If you use it sparingly and intermittently, and once in a while, once in a blue moon, once in a month, then there's no harm done. Or there's going to be very little harm done. But if you're on it every day, it's going to fluff you up. It's going to mash you up. It's going to bring you up and smash you down. And that's just what it does. That's just how it is. That's not my opinion. That's just the reality. That's just the reality. I used to be one of those people that used to wake up in the morning and reach for a weed. I used to sleep with the Rizla paper underneath my pillow star. It's heavy. Oh yeah. And anyway, it's heavy. You know you've gone too far when you wake up, and the first thing you're thinking about is the Rizla paper, is the skins. You know what I'm saying? It's just wrong. And when you can't, hey cat, that's the power cable. Leave the power cable, cat. And then when you can't find the Isla, when you can't find the skin, you even ripping up pages of the Bible and bunning the weed and rolling the weed out. And then I remember I had to stop bunning weed when these things, what were they called? Can't even remember, blunts, when the Phillies used to come out back in 95 or somewhere around then. I just had to knock it on the head them times, because what? Man's is taking out the something from a cigar. I'm filling that thing there full of weed. I'm bunning this. I tried bunning that, and it fluffed me up, mashed me up. I knew that I was in, and I was out of my depth when we got to that stage. So just to finish off this little presentation, it's if you are gonna bun it, bun it sparingly. And if you're gonna burn weed for the healing of the nation, or for some constant elevation, or for purposes of meditation, then remember, mental meditation, or just breathing and relaxation, is the best form of meditation. You don't need medication. You don't need hallucinogenics or uppers or downers or weed or anything else to help you meditate. And meditation, remember this, meditation is the best form of medication. That's what I've got to say. For those people that are bunning hard, and I used to be back in the day, look, don't bun weed first thing in the morning, especially if you've got things to do that day. If you've got nothing to do and it's a weekend and it's a once in a month, then do it. There are too many comparatives with the behavioral addiction of weed and alcohol. It's come on. It's just, it's like people that wait. Let's just make the the correlation between weed and alcohol. People say, oh, there's no difference. It's not as bad as drinking liquor. It's not as bad as drinking alcohol. But yo, it is as bad as drinking alcohol. Because people that reach for the beer can or for the cider can or for the alcohol bottle or the special brew, I remember back in the day, or the super tenants or the strongbow, people that reach for that first thing in the morning, it's the same as reaching for like a weed, a spliff first thing in the morning. Reaching for a spliff first thing in the morning is the same as reaching for a blood clot special brew first thing in the morning. Think about it. Both things, the alcohol and the weed, are both mentally and physically and psychologically and physiologically addictive. They get you. They take control of your brain. They take control of your body. They make you insane in the brain. They don't allow you to be yourself. They make you be somebody else. They make you feel that you need to take more of this substance in order to come back into yourself. So if you know that you're bunning weed first thing in the morning or every day, each and every single day, similarly if you're drinking alcohol each and every day, then you really have a problem and you need to stop. So especially if you've got a full day of work ahead of you. I mean, this has gone way too long. I didn't even mean to. I meant to speak for like 3-4 minutes, but I forgot what I was supposed to be speaking about. Okay, so I'm still suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, or just can't remember what I was supposed to say. It's because of the weed. Even though I've not bun weed for ages and ages and ages, and I'm never gonna bun weed again. Even though it smells good, so it don't. No, stop bunning weed. That's what this particular presentation is for. Just to help. I'm not even sure if I can help anybody stop weed. The way I talk about weed, I even want to smoke weed again. You know, it's not right. I know it's not right. You can tell I used to love it, right? But yo, just stop. It's just no. Let me just tell you what it was. It was the nightmares. It was the cold shivers. It was the hallucinogenic side of things. It was the going cold turkey that make me say I'm not going to go back on that thing again, because I might have enjoyed it. You can tell I used to get some fun times and high times and party times and real crazy times from smoking and bunning. But at the end of the day, when I stopped, it was hell. It wasn't easy. I had to go through psychological and some physiological hell as well. For me, I don't know whether it hits anybody else like that, or whether you listen to this and think, yo, this guy's just off his rocker or whatever. But yo, believe me, it was hard. It wasn't easy. And I thought at that time that I was doing some righteous thing. I thought I was a poor righteous teacher. Hey, cat, I would chop you on a cat. Pussycat, move off. So, what was I saying? That's it, yeah. I thought I was being like a poor righteous teacher or something, bunning weed and ganja for the healing of the nation, and yo, we can just heal the world by bunning this something. But yo, really, at the end of the day, the world ain't gonna get healed by bunning ganja. That ain't the way it's gonna happen. That's not the way. The revolution will not be weedized. The revolution will not be marijuanaized or cannibalized, you know? Cannibaloid. The revolution will not be weed, all right? It is. Even though we could want it to be, it's not going to be. But the reason I stopped, or the reason I'm saying to you stop, is that, yo, when I did stop, it was hell. It was a hellish nightmare. I had to go through 40 days of cold turkey, 40 days of pining for the weed, waking up begging for the weed, just doing anything for the weed. And I just had to stop. I just had to go for it and stop. I trained. I went to the gym. I went swimming. I did whatever I could do. I played chess and read books. I walked and talked and did all sorts of stuff just to get myself away from it. I think I ate loads of stuff. I think I put on a stone and a half in weight after I stopped bunning weed, because, you know, it's like my metabolism slowed down and all sorts. Now I got these big chubby cheeks. I used to be skinny rich before. I used to be a little skinny boy. And then I turned into like this big growthy man. It's like 20-inch biceps and stuff. Not really 20-inch, but I think they're 19-inch. So, yo, these are big guns. And then I put on a whole heap of weight, a whole lot of weight after I stopped bunning weed. So it did have physiological and physical effects, as well as mental effects and psychological effects. So when I went through all of that transformation, when I went through that change, I just said, there's no way that I can physically go through that again. And it felt heavy. I've never touched another drug apart from alcohol in my life, and I don't really ever want to touch anything else, because, yo, for me, the weed was hard enough. It was the hardest thing. I tell you right now, it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do, apart from one time when I was in the ocean and I had to swim back to shore against the tide. That was really difficult. But then what made that easier, I looked down and I saw nothing but the abyss. I saw nothing but deep, dark, blue, black sea. and I just started to imagine these underwater creatures and monsters coming at me from there, and I swam back real quick. I swam back faster than a mother, brother. So that was the hardest thing. But then the second hardest thing I ever had to do in my life, no, but when I climbed Ben Nevis and got lost at the top, that was pretty hard. I had to find my... Anyway, it's up there with like getting lost on top of a mountain in the middle of winter, and you've only got like a jacket and stuff like that. And it's up there with like getting lost at sea, and you've got to swim a couple of miles back to the shore against the tide. It's really difficult. But anyway, for me, if it wasn't the hardest thing I've ever done, then it's definitely one of the hardest things I've ever done. And I wouldn't wish what I went through on anybody. So, you know, I'm a reformed character. 20 years I've gone free, but it still smells nice. And, you know, sometimes I still get the peckish. I still get peckish for a little bit of weed, you know. I just want to, in fact, I just, you know, just to even smell it. But the smell nowadays is a bit off key. It doesn't smell righteous like how it used to way back in the day. But yo, done, you're done, Noah. Just stop already if you can. If you can't, then I beg you, listen to what I'm telling you. And if there's anything, this cat is just doing my nutting. And if there's anything which I'm saying to you on this little presentation, which has now gone way past where it should have been like 4 minutes, it's like, I don't know, 15 minutes or however long. If there's anything that I've said that can help you to get off it, then I'm happy. Even to help one person get off it, even to help one person start to thinking about stopping it, start to thinking about getting off it, then I'm happy that I can do that or help you to do that. Because yo, believe me, for me, like I said, a 3 times Great Britain heavyweight, super heavyweight, freestyle, kickboxing and karate champion. I mean that, you know. 3-time freestyle champion. That was pretty easy in comparison to bunning the weed. I must say that because it's relative. But swimming back from a deep ocean against the current, that was relatively easy in comparison to the weed. It took a concerted effort. It took positive education. It took constant elevation. It took, you know, continued effort and a grime and a graft, and you know, I had to do it. It just had to be done. And once you've been through that, once you've got through that, it's like going through an iron curtain. It's like getting over the other side of a cliff, or you're reaching the precipice of a mountain. You've got to the top now. Now you go down, and now you can relax. Now you can enjoy the benefits. Now you can think about all the times that you enjoyed on the way up and going through that struggle. Because yo, I can't emphasize it enough. It was the hardest, roughest, toughest thing I've ever done, and I wouldn't wish anybody to have to go through that again. But I do wish that you do stop and just, you know, do whatever you can to stop. You know, is that hard? If you need to, I understand it's that hard. Personally, believe me, I do. If you need to, then seek advice. You know, you can seek advice. You can seek help. You can get help. Get help from people. Go to the doctor. Ask the doctor for some form of advice. After the doctor, seek advice. After the go to the doctors and seek advice. Go to the doctors and seek medication. Seek some counseling. Do something. Because the benefits of stopping, once you've been through it, you know, or if you're still using it, I mean, this is the other thing. If you're still using it right now, the biggest tip I could say is, you know, use it sparingly. I've already said that. But you use the weed and don't let the weed use you. You use the herb and don't let the herb use you. You use the ganja and don't let the ganja use you. The ganja is using you when you're waking up, and that's the first thing that you're thinking of and you're feeling for in the morning. The ganja is using you when you spend more time looking for the weed than what you do looking for your friends or your girls or your wife or your people or your family. The ganja is using you when you spend more money on your ganja than what you do giving to charity or helping people in your community. The ganja is using you when you've lost your... Hey, cat, where the record jar go on this? Stop and all. Stop smoking weed. The ganja is using you when that's all you can really think about. You understand? So that's what I'm saying. And also, the very many benefits to stopping weed. There are very many benefits. The biggest benefit, it gives you beautiful, fresh breath. It gives you clean and deep breath. It helps you to breathe. You know, you can really breathe again. It's like it gives you a new lease of life when you cat. What is wrong with you? Hey, come on now. Stop. She's getting really, really I'm gonna have to throw you in the. I'm gonna throw you in the basement. I'm gonna feed you to the dogs. Hey, right? It just helps you to give you a new lease of life. When you can stop smoking weed, when you've been through that and you stop smoking weed, then you can start to reap the benefits. I think I've said enough for now, but I'll perhaps do another repost tomorrow after I've chopped this cat up and fed to the kebab shop. Get into the kebab shop for free for the people. Them after then get the munch and just smoke weed and chill. Oh, she's run out of the room now. You heard me, dude. See, she understands. Cats have this sixth sense, they can understand what you're thinking about. So yeah, that's enough for now. I hope I've said enough. Just think about it. Stop smoking, and then when you stop, you'll have pastures green and anew, and everything will become brand new. And I'm gonna do a little presentation about the benefits of smoke, the benefits of stopping to smoke, real soon. So thanks very much for watching. I hope I haven't bored you silly. I hope you get a little semblance of sanity from the madness which I'm talking to you. It's me, it's not me, it's you. Honest. Thank you very much.
Cushion pain, make I count from 1 till 10.